Hi, I'm Jamz Supernova and welcome to Between the Lines. This is a podcast where I get a little bit nerdy, we get a little bit personal with the artist and about a song of theirs. We do a little deep dive into the lyrics, who they were and where they were when they wrote it. And today my guest is ENNY, fantastic rapper, lyricist, all of the things.
Oh, thanks.
And just kind of like, ENNY has a way of like really reaching your soul with your words. So ENNY, welcome to Between the Lines. Track is Champagne Problems.
Come on.
Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, nah, but
I saw you at WOMAD Festival last summer. But WOMAD, for those that don't know, is like a really sweet hippie festival. It's kind of like somewhere in the lineage of Glastonbury, but a lot more family-focused music from all around the world. You played Saturday evening, I think I'd come down from work, and you had like the full tent, just going for it, just living their best life. And I felt like, I don't know, I thought it was a really wholesome set, but in some ways you managed to be yourself and still be, you know, a rap queen that you are, but but also hold the hands of the families as well.
yeah.
What was it
When
like
I came
for
out
you?
on stage and I clocked, there was a lot of children. I was like, oh,
Take out that
censor,
word.
yeah.
Take out that word.
Yeah, but it was nice, and it was like also nice to like just see like young people like connect to the lyrics and even like know the songs. So that was like, yeah, that was proper awesome.
That will be life changing for somebody that would have been there, you know, with them. Remember that time we saw that? Like, Mum, I'm thinking I might want to do this. Like it would have sparked something in someone's head, and the adults, you could feel that they were really listening to the lyrics.
Yeah. It was cute. It was
cute times here for the family festival. That's where I'm at right now. But it was your manager, actually, Manager Pascal, who put me onto you. We've been sort of talking online, and he'd been doing some stuff sort of on the community radio. And he was like, you know, I need to let you know about an artist that I'm working with called ENNY. And you know when someone's just like so infectious and so like really like believes in this music, and it just sort of like filtered onto me, like I could feel through the emails or the messages that he was so excited about you. Is Pascal like your biggest cheerleader?
Yeah, no, he is. I think the moment, I feel like sometimes in life you like align with people and then life just starts to make sense, and I think like when we like connected, like a lot of things just fell into place.
And what was the connection from a producer standpoint, and then when did he become your manager?
So it started off a producer, so our relationship was like very creative, and then during that process he was just like, I would love to manage you, like I really like, I believe in this. And so I was like, yeah, sure.
And it's nice, I think, you know, like I feel like the most successful artists that I see are the ones that, when it feels organic, you know, with the artists that maybe their manager isn't this like this big guy with the Bluetooth headphone that's come from working in the shiny suits office. Like it often is a friend or somebody close to them already.
Yeah. I think that gives better context to like you as an artist, because it's less about it being a business and more about you as a human, and more so about the art. And I think there's just more of an understanding of like the dream rather than just like a capitalist approach to, okay, how can we make you the biggest star, or how can we like make this and do this. I think it's a better connection, and it's like you want to win with people that you're like building with, like you want to win with your friends,
come up together.
Yeah, like I think it's more rewarding.
Yeah,
like if I'm eating, you're eating, and I'm watching you eat, and I'm like, yeah, we did that
because we eat together.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I think that's a warm feeling.
Yeah, I think it's good to protect those relationships and to kind of, you know, to talk about them as well, because I think there's some artists that really do believe like maybe they do have a brethren that does want to work with them, or somebody that they've, you know, should not always look it up, it's looking to the side, and I think sometimes we need to hear that more often.
Yeah, no, for real.
I didn't know you were from Thamesmead.
Yeah.
I watched the video.
I'm surprised. I feel like they like love to call me ENNY from Thamesmead.
ENNY from Thamesmead. I missed that. And maybe I don't know why I put East London on you.
No, I understand that too. I spend a lot of time there.
Maybe it's the E's.
Yeah.
But but Thamesmead, can we just like, you know, we're going to have listeners that are from everywhere in the world. So the idea of it's very London-centric to know about Thamesmead, and some people in London don't even know about Thamesmead. No, it's a niche. It's a niche place.
It is very special. It's like the border of Kent and London.
100%.
So you get like a lot of greenery, and then you also get estate at the same time. So it's like a nice like hybrid.
I'd say concrete jungle.
Yeah. Facts. I think that's what makes it so distinctive. Nah, people definitely know Thamesmead. They know it from a music video or from a TV show, or like I think it's in that respect. It's so like culturally impactful, because like A Clockwork Orange, Skepta, and A$AP Rocky's video, Misfits, me. Like,
Thamesmead is on the map. But I know it because my dad lived there for like 20 years. So yeah, during my sort of like childhood, I'd go to his house on the weekend. But I was coming from the other side of Southeast London. So it's Sydenham, like, and it would be the 122 all the way, the longest bus in the world. It would take you from Sydenham all the way. It would take, I think it took you to Woolwich, and then I'd have to change. It's like 3 hours on a Friday night on the bus just to get to my dad's.
Just to get to Thamesmead, just to get to Kent.
Just to get to Thamesmead. Like, it was, you know, when the bus starts steaming up.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've been on it for too long.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Thamesmead?
He lived near Gogies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's wow. Yeah, you even like the fact you called it Gogies. Like, yeah.
I know.
Hey, you're from Ends.
I'm from Ends. There's a little Thamesmead in me.
Not
But I think what I always found really interesting about Thamesmead was, like you said, about the greenery. And I remember watching people fishing.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big sort of fishing culture, or just being able to go and ride your bikes and suddenly you're like in a field or something. You know, even the gnat bites.
Yeah. Like behind like Morrison's Safeways. Like, yeah.
There's lots of like reservoirs and water.
Yeah.
Do you feel like living in a place like Thamesmead that has so much space, but then there's also, you know, it's so family driven, you know, a lot of people that live there are families. Do you feel like that kind of added to you and your art and who you are?
I feel like the Thamesmead now is very different from the Thamesmead that I grew up in. So I feel like growing up, Thamesmead has like a very like strong history of like racism and just a lot of issues. But I think over time it's gradually changed and it's become just a lot more peaceful. I don't know why, but I'm here for it, to be fair. But I think the family aspect of it and community, I guess, was one of my favorite things growing up. I felt like there was more of like a unity, and I was like surrounded by like a lot of family or friends. Like my mum just had like people she knew everywhere, so there was just always like I was always there, but I was always at someone's house, or like there was just a...
But you just like, I'm just going to go to see so-and-so. I don't know, my dad would be like, I'm just going to go see Lorna. It's like two estates over.
Yeah. Like even like my granddad lived across the road, and then like it's like godmothers and just everyone is there. So like even like old family members will be like, oh, Steve from that used to live by... And then I'll be like, lol, that's like the 80s. Like,
it was, I definitely think a moment in time. And there was sort of like, I definitely feel that. Like, and someone's, you know, so-and-so's your auntie from there. And like that idea of like, just quickly, you know, run into the next estate, gonna go have a couple with them. But, you know, that's kind of what you did on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
You spend time with one another in your community. But why I bring Thamesmead up is because that's where the video for Champagne Problems is filmed.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I should have known. How did I not see this? It's like this big Thamesmead sign. And I was like, oh, wow, sort of penny dropped. But I love the video, you know, it's black and white, and it's very much in the essence of what a freestyle is. It's kind of like you know, it's not overproduced.
Yeah.
You and your friends, kind of what we spoke about, you, your friends, community.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, how linked is Champagne Problems to the success of Peng Blacks Girls? Like, if you have these one song over here and one song over there, in the lineage of you and your career and your personal development, are the songs two halves of each other in some ways?
I think not two halves. I think Champagne Problems was like the stepping stone of like everything that happened with Peng Blacks Girls and like all the music that had been created up until that point. So like even with the EP Under 25, like it was just like that was done. And then I was living, not as any artist. And then it was just like, how am I feeling right now? I was like complaining a lot. And then there was like, but my life had changed. And so I feel like Champagne Problems is the stepping stone of, I guess, what Peng Blacks Girls did.
Yeah. And what was that, you know, that, I mean, we see it online, you know, we see numbers, we see comments, and sometimes I don't think we really think about the person on the other side of that. You know, we just sort of see a moment happening in your phone, scroll, cool, wow, amazing, wow, cool. And then you put your phone down. But for someone that's sort of living in it, what was that like for you as an artist, you know, as somebody going from ENNY, the person who would like to be an artist, to ENNY, the artist, or the someone that's perceived as the artist? Yeah. What was that like for you, you know, personally?
Yeah, it just took a lot of learning. I feel like everything kind of happened so quickly. And I think a lot of it happened during the pandemic. So it was just like, everything was happening, but we were all like inside. So it didn't like hit as like maybe as intense. And so I just think it took a lot of getting used to for myself. And a lot of self-belief, I think, is that that's like a period where it's so easy to have imposter syndrome. And so I think that was like just learning to be myself in a different version, I guess.
Yeah.
But
You said something in an interview which I really resonated with. It's like the thing that you want the most, you know, you're working towards this thing, and sometimes like you can have different personalities that we attach to what we're doing, right? So when you're like in the hustle phase and you like, I want to be this, I want to be that, like that's very much your identity. Like everything that you kind of do, everything that you think about is in the lead up to becoming this person or to get this goal, let's say. And then you get the goal, and then so and I know it as clear as day because I had it like in the like from the age of 19 to 24 trying to get a show on the BBC, and like that was my identity. I'm the underdog, I'm the hustler, I'm like, you know what I mean? And then in one meeting you get it, and then it's like,
well, like people don't talk about what you're meant to do when you get what you were like, when you reach your first goal, what do you do next? Or if you like set this ultimate goal, when you get it, what happens next?
100%.
You don't just stay there. So like, I think, it's interesting that I feel like that's not a conversation a lot, that how do you progress when you get kind of what you wanted?
Yeah. And what does that mean? Because if you were to say to somebody else, like, you know, it's not all it's cracked up to be, then you sound like you're not grateful.
Yeah.
It's not that you're saying it's not what it's cracked up to be, but if you put so much emphasis on one thing, it's not going to change your life when you get that one goal, that one car, that one house. Like, it makes you feel good in a moment.
Yeah, they never say that. Like, I feel like, there's like a bunch of things to teach young people. That should be one of them. Like, have goals, but your goals don't like ultimately like, it doesn't like, that's not going to be the thing that keeps you happy or like makes your life. You just have to continue going. Like, life is not just end goal. But I guess that's just things you learn as you go.
Yeah, because you have to get there first. Yeah, of course. And it's so easy, you know, I think about this all the time. Like, it's so easy to be on the other side and be like, you know, kid, it's not how it's cracked up to be. But what were the problems? Like, you said you were moaning a lot, but like, I just wondered, and it can be the most frivolous things. Like, you know, it's okay to have small problems as well. So what were these champagne problems that you were like, fuck, man?
I guess like just like this decisions you have to make. Like, why do I have to make these decisions? Like, oh, why was the pressure on me? Or why do I have to do that? Or I don't know, why is the call time 7 a.m? Like, just like small things, or just like, I think the balance of sometimes people might put you on a pedestal and you may not, like someone might put you on a pedestal, and so you're on a pedestal here, and then you're not in a pedestal in that room. so that you're just like, bro, who, like, am I famous here or am I not famous here? Like, so I feel like all these things you're trying to like navigate, and I feel like you just have to like take a minute and be like, nah, this is sick though. This is a sick opportunity to be in either way.
Yeah, so, 7 a.m. or not. Like, yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, yeah.
And it is when, you know, and that's an age thing as well, I do think, you know, and it shifts, you know, like I might be moaning about the double glazing windows right now, you know, like it kind of shifts. But I do remember like one time I moved radio slots to a better slot. But the idea of having to get in 3 hours early, I remember I was running late that first day, and I called my mum, I was like, the show started at 1 p.m, by the way.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Mum, it's too early, man. It's too early. I'm not built for this. She's like, Jamila, get yourself to work now. Like, she was not here for it. Yeah, and it did, you know, she was like, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. This is not early. Yeah. Get to work. I was like, okay, Mum, get on the train now.
I'm screaming. And then you smashed it, innit?
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. And now, like, 1 p.m, I mean, that's like, I could go earlier if I needed to.
Yeah, do you know, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like we grow so much in such a short space of time. Sometimes it's important to kind of look back at those moments and laugh about them, but also be aware of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump to the end of the song first, because I kind of feel like it sort of like is what we've been talking about. So champagne spilling got me chasing these problems. I got minutes, spend time if I want. Life's got me tripping off the face like I wanted. Can't stop sipping from these champagne problems. How did that? It's a chorus. It is a chorus. Yeah. How did that come to you?
Yeah, it just made sense. I thought sometimes I tend to write things into existence weird enough. So like I might write something from like a subconscious place, and then like maybe a year later I'd understand why it's manifested. When I finish the song, I'll be like, oh, okay. So that's where my head was at. Like I didn't know at the time, but I think it was just it was just that moment of like kind of getting what I wanted, and still not being satisfied maybe.
Yeah, I like the phrase like life's got me tripping off the face like I wanted, I'm high on it.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, I'm also feeling these things as well. Do you write subconsciously? Do you, if you were like, let's say if I spent the day with you, would there be lines that came to you that you would jot down, or where do you write? How do you write?
I tend to just like I'll just throw on a beat, and if like whatever the beat makes me feel, then I'll be able to write. And so I tend to like write by myself, or like if I'm in a session and whatever's being produced feels emotional or whatever, then I can write. And I think that's, I feel like I'm also learning now, the more I do this, the more I can answer that question better, because now I'm understanding, so that's when I like to write, or that's when I feel like this, but I'm never going to like write, like sit on a train and be like, wow, there's Peng Blacks Girls in my ring. So I've never done that.
But so you need either the solitary to be on your own. Would that be like in your bedroom?
Yeah. Or just like stimuli. But I need a beat. I need a good beat. Yeah.
Okay, so where did you write Champagne Problems then? What studio or what setting was it?
So I started writing Champagne Problems, I think, to a different beat in my room. I got like a beat pack, and there was just something, and I just started writing the first couple lines, and then I think a year later I went to LA and I had a session with Beat Butcher, and then I had those lyrics, and then when he cooked up the beat, I was just able to finish it, and it was just like, so I feel like I tend to write like I start an idea, and then like it's like the full circle moment of where I'm at later allows me to complete the idea, I guess.
And where did you save it then? Why did you know that was something to come back to?
Because I don't write a lot. So if I write something and I feel like, this is sick, if I go into a session, I'll be like scrolling through my notes to find my best bars. And then if it matches, then I can just do it, like continue. If the vibe's in the room sick and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is making sense. And I think you're able to like do your art.
And was LA, if you think about like the idea of Champagne Problems, like LA is the city of Champagne Problems.
Yeah. And so even that, it's like a subconscious full circle thing. Like I'm finishing writing the song and I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing palm trees, and I'm on an expenses paid trip. Like I'm living that artist life or whatever. And like, if I'm in that moment, I'm not happy. It's like, it's a champagne problem. It's still like, but you're not where you were. So like,
and I think LA is a place to kind of really, when you really sort of confront you can really, look your insecurities in the face, because everybody is on this like kind of intense journey of trying to be somebody or something.
I want to be a star.
And it's like, I don't know if I want it as much as that. Like, I want it, but at what expense, man?
No, for real. No, I don't think I spent enough time. I was only there for like a week, so I don't feel like I've got to. Do you think?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
No, a week once a year. No, I don't know. It's not my favorite place in the world. It's a place to go and get stuff done.
Yeah. I agree. I couldn't live there, but I feel like I like how big the air is. I don't think like there was. I remember I looked outside and I could just see the whole sky, and I thought, wow. I never see the sky like this in the UK.
That's a good point. It's just open.
Like, and there's an openness that is nice. But I could understand how that could be consuming for a very long time. Like, it's not a real place, like Truman Show, innit?
Yes. Like, you pull back something, the door's going to open.
Yeah, not for real.
Straight back home. Like, so many who, what, whys and whens, iPhone notes or a biro pen, dark skin darling, brown skin friends, Peng Blacks Girls, that's the patent. I've had to like listen to it and get the flow, man. Pending push that all my incentive in, recoup all my investments win. On rocks, that's how I like my gin. Priceless, just got those gems from Sims. I feel like the art of a freestyle is just like, for me in hip hop, is like, it's so important, especially in the face of like, how to release music changes every day. But the freestyle is probably one of the oldest formats in hip hop of releasing music, right? Yeah. What does a freestyle mean to you?
I feel like freestyles allow you to be, it's detached from like a context of like a song or a project, and I feel like you're allowed to flex. I feel like that's what a freestyle feels like. Like, I'm a bar and I'm just like, I'm gonna talk my S and I'm gonna do what, and I feel like I like that freedom. There's no like, it's not like a song. It's just there's a freedom that you don't have to like maybe oblige to when you're writing the actual track. And so I like that. It's also the technical ability of rapping as well, like you said. Like, I think that's one of the sickest things about freestyling.
And when I read sort of those lyrics, when you think about, you know, what sort of, I guess, like, technicalities you use to kind of emphasize your point, not just the words, but the delivery as well. Sort of within that, what for you are you like, yeah, that was kind of sick?
Can't like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, even when you were just reading it back, I was like, wow. That was really good, Enny.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, I just, I like that it's not, I'm not actually saying anything, but I'm saying a lot, but I like that it's me.
Yeah, it's
and
raw.
It's just like very true. So many who, what, whys and whens.
Yeah.
Like, just so many questions and so many just like passing thoughts.
And it's to the point as well. I think the greatest lyricists for me are the ones that kind of really tap into cultural references or become cultural references. You know, that's somebody like I'm like, oh man, all the who, what, whys and whens. You know, like it can become something. You can say something that somebody can take it short and snappy enough, you know.
An Instagrammable.
Quote, yeah, it's quite Instagrammable quotes. I mean, did you grow up having a level of I call it hip hop bravado, and that's because I used to work behind the scenes and work in compliance.
Okay.
And when we were signing off hip hop songs, and if it was like braggadocious or, you know, social commentary, we'd use different words to basically say it's hip hop bravado. It's within the audience expectation of what to expect at that time of night for this style of music.
Jeez.
And that's how we got. That's how we got away with
language.
getting language out. But how did you tap into your hip hop bravado?
I feel like it's more grime, if anything. I feel like the whole grime culture in the UK and that whole essence is what really inspired me. So like watching just like cyphers and just like when it used to be about being the best rapper, I think that was like my villain origin story is like, I want to be the best rapper. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sicker than I'm going to be so sick for a girl. I'm going to be better than the guys. Like, I don't even want the girls to be my competition. My competition is the guys. And I think that was like, that was my like whole passion of like why I want to be like the sickest rapper. And so and then you get here and you're like, actually no one really cares. Like, people care, but like, so like being good isn't like, doesn't get you like a badge on the wall or like.
No, but you could be the rapper's favourite rapper. And that is a badge in itself. Like,
so,
I think so though. I think that want to be the best, like, but also it's not even just the want to be the best. Like, we all need that, like, that inner voice, that inner critic that could, even if you don't believe it in the moment, but to listen to this song, you're like, like, be a bit swaggy with it, like, hold your own and own it, like, own the fact that you want to be the best. Like, I don't think there's nothing, you know, wrong with that, and it's nothing wrong with kind of also like wanting nice things to go with it as well. Who's the best freestyle rapper for you, or do you remember any cyphers, like even from the grime days, that you were just like, oh?
I will say I feel like I was growing up on the whole Chipmunk era, so I was I
mean, if anyone really feels himself, he does. You know,
so I'm the grime scene savior. Like, oh my god, and you're watching and you're like, what is this? Wow,
from 16.
Yeah, crazy. And that whole the talent of that from such a young age is very bizarre. Like, I don't think many people. The flows, the pockets, like I was obsessed.
I remember that video of he's sort of sitting on the like on the estate thing, but you've got like the metal gate, and he's just sitting there in a tracksuit and he's just spitting like straight to the camera.
That whole
a similar age, and I was just like, wow. It blew my mind. I think I'm glad you shouted out Chip, because I don't think he I think sometimes actually his confidence gets misconstrued
as arrogance.
And he can be. Why not be arrogant? It's, you know, he's a bit of both.
But it's like also sometimes maybe the question is, so what happens when everyone knows I'm the best? Okay, so everyone in the room knows I'm the best. Now what?
Now what?
So like, okay, what does that mean? It doesn't translate to money. It doesn't translate to like validation. People are not going to pat you on your back every day saying you're so good. So it's just like, I feel like you need to learn past being, okay, I'm the best. Okay, what do I do with being the best? What now? Everyone knows I'm sick. Okay, so now what? How do I use that to, I don't know, change the world or do whatever? Or what?
You name check Sims in it as well, which I just think obviously is we could talk about Sims and lyrically, but why was it important for you to kind of just nod to Sims?
Oh, because it happened. So so it was just like a very and it's like also that moment of like, right, I can actually do that. Like, it actually happened, and I can. It's my flex to myself as well. That like, I got some gems from Sims.
In the way that she's given you gems, as in kind of like gems in life or gems?
Yeah, like we just had a conversation and she was just like spitting a lot of game and just checking me on things. And I feel like that's not, you don't really hear about that, especially like I guess within the women's space as well. So I guess as her, for like being a pioneer in the lane that she's in, it's sick that she would take that responsibility to even do that and be like, okay, this cat's coming up underneath me, this, that. And so I think, yeah.
Yeah, what a phone. I wish I was on the phone call. I wish I was like there. I was sitting there like taking notes. Like, oh God, yeah, thank you guys. But that must have been really kind of affirming in a way. Also to see somebody again. It's just that one next step in terms of like however long she's been doing it, and just kind of on that lineage of where you want to go. It's just like one step ahead. And for someone to look back and to reach back and tell you these things, like I actually think that's been the most invaluable thing in my career. And I remember all the things that anybody has sort of told me, and often it's been the most like, you know, frank things. Like it's been like I don't know, someone like a toddler telling me like, you know, Jamz, it's all artist led. Because I think I was saying, I just need a manager, you know, I think once I have a manager it's gonna be all good, like then I'll be able to do this. He was like, yeah, but it comes from you. He's like, and if you don't lead them, he's like, you're like steering the ship, you're the leader of your boat, and if you're not steering it, then they won't know where to head. And then that was like kind of like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's a word.
I really thought I would just sit back and be like, yeah, manager, okay, cool. Like make some stuff happen.
Yeah, I hear it.
And that's not, it's not.
A magical genie.
Yeah, magical genie. And I've got myself this far, like you take me the next way. And it's like, even now I still always come back to that. Who's leading the ship? I lead the ship. Where do I want to go with it? Okay, cool. And now I can delegate. And now we can talk about how we can get to that, you know, next stage. But yeah, it was really sort of frank conversation at like 2 a.m. when I used to work on this show. Yeah, and he'd just come with the gems because he just wasn't here for the frivolness of it. He wasn't here for the fakeness of just getting accolades for no reason. It really was purely about the music.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so easy like to happen as well, especially like when you achieve success, you feel like now everyone has to kind of steer the ship for you because I'm here now, so like and I feel like that's like a very good good piece of gems.
Good piece of gems. Right, we've got some gems in there. There's a war going on in my mental, emotions, gentle spiritual healing. Would be smart to invest in time away, but this Prada bag's so appealing. Yeah, retail therapy is healing. Well, bank balance going to keep me in check. Now, this part made me think of a friend, right? And I remember she was upset and she was crying. And another friend said, this was about 8 years ago. And another friend said to her, "Why are you crying in your Burberry dress?"
I'm so done.
She was like, you're sitting there and you're crying, saying you're depressed in your Burberry dress. And I don't know why it stuck with me, but it was this idea of that she wasn't allowed to cry or be depressed because she was sitting in Burberry. What does that make you think about when you think about this kind of, this phrases?
Well, like it's similar. You know, like that saying when people be like, I'd rather cry in a Porsche than cry like on a bus. Like I feel like it's that similar. It's like a similar world of like, it's very easy to use nice things to make us feel good, and I feel like they do make you feel good, but it doesn't last, and it can become toxic. Yeah, because now you're just trying to validate yourself through nice things because you need to feel nice, and I feel like especially when you start getting money, the first thing you want to do is buy nice things because
you haven't been able to,
but also because you feel like people need to see you in nice things because it reflects that you now have money, and so that's like a whole probably like a conversation within itself as well.
And did you feel that, I guess let's say then in this period, so like say like post Peng Blacks Girls, you know, did you feel there was a expectation of a way to look?
Not at all, not for me. Just I feel like because of the way I've come in, I don't think anyone expects me to like do like a bunch like be that. I feel like I just very much I'm the girl next door or the girl from around the way. So it's like but I feel like as a woman, and also like when I look at like Peng Blacks Girls, and there's the line that I have about having some mashed up brands that I won't throw away because I'm needy and hurting. But now it's like the juxtaposition to, would be smart to invest in time away, but this Prada bags, the conversation's the same, but it's different because it's like,
it's moved on a little slightly.
Like maybe I remember buying those pair of Vans and like being like, am I allowed to buy these pair of Vans? Like it's quite, at the time, it's like a lot of money from like my paycheck. Can I spend that? And so it's like, it's like the same conversation, but different contexts in life. And I feel like even just to reflect on that is kind of nice to understand, I guess, the kind of person I am that like I don't want to. I want to spend, but there's a hesitation to not spend also. But we want nice things, but are we allowed nice things? Is this the time to buy nice things? Do I need nice things so people will think I have money? I need nice things so I can fit in when I walk into the room? Which again, all these things do matter. When you walk into a room, how you look is important. That's why the man are buying watches, because even if they're in a t-shirt and jeans and I don't know, a nice pair of trainers, if they've got that watch on in the room, it speaks volumes. And so it's just this constant back and forth of like, who do you want to be when you're in the room, but who you are in the room in what you're wearing doesn't make you that person. And so I guess it's about finding a balance.
Yeah. It's really interesting, the idea of like what little things say about us to other people.
No, facts.
And to some people, it won't mean anything. You know, a nice watch is a nice watch to who? It's relative, right?
Yeah.
You know, it could be a nice watch in this room, like you said, but you go to the next room
and no one cares.
And that's an entry level watch.
Freaking Rolex is like, I don't know. So yeah.
Okay, I really like that. And there's also the duality of like mental health and you know, kind of being vulnerable enough to sort of admit that you're experiencing mental health, but you can also experience mental health but also enjoy niceties, right? You can have the duality of both, of being like, you know,
I think that's the human experience, to be very dual of everything. Like, people are going through things and they still got to wake up and go to work and got to press on. And so I don't think it's like a badge or like a pat on the back because I'm going through something and I press on. I think it's just sometimes what life requires of us to be strong. Yeah.
And also like the idea of like, if you are depressed doesn't mean that you have to be. Not everything has to be a struggle as well. Sometimes you can be depressed and it is a struggle, but it doesn't have to be the struggle. And because you're depressed, you should sit at home. You should not go anywhere. You should just stay in your grey tracksuit and show the world that you're depressed. You don't have to always visibly show it, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's a battle. It's just like a constant, like, everything's a mind game. It's like it's a battle. It's like the first time you go to the gym, you can't lift physically. I cannot lift this weight, but when you continue to do it, after a while you'll be able to lift it. And it's not because like you've been able to do that. And I think it's sometimes mental health can be similar to that. Like, you physically cannot, but at some time you will be able to, as long as you train or get the necessary help that you need. But I don't think it's not the end. You're not going to be stuck there. And I think sometimes at the time it can feel like you're going to be stuck there, but the reality is you won't be stuck there.
No, I like the gym analogy. It's like, actually you actually could always have lifted it, but you didn't have the tools to lift it.
Yeah, true.
And then going to the gym gives you the tools, the technique, you know, the mental capacity to be able to lift it. And I guess it's the same for mental health. Like, it is always there.
Yeah.
It's always within the kind of being able to get through it. But at that time, you might not have the tools
to deal with it,
to get to that next bit. Certain men love hailing me up because they say, yo, we like that you don't rap about sex. What's that supposed to mean to me if the basis of hip-hop's misogyny? Because I grew up on Kim and Fella, but if I rap about pussy, I'm a sellout. There's always like sections of a song that I'm like, they're like the mother lines. They're like, that's like that. I love that section of the song. Can you tell me a little bit about the space and place when you wrote it? And was it from conversations or...
Probably. I feel like men love to tell me, oh, we like that you don't do this. And I'm just like, okay. Like, what? Like, what you... Not in a rude way, but just kind of like, what do you want me to do with this information? Because if I start rapping about coochie, now what? Like, what? Am I a bad rapper? Do I not represent that anymore? Like, what? Am I meant to feel, like, validated because you think I'm not... Like, what? And so I think that it just came from that. Just like...
I call it the Empress effect.
Is it?
It's the Empress effect, like, and maybe it's like for you, it's like they've taken that, but in the rap effect, like basically this kind of, I guess, putting you on a pedestal based on what they would like to see, based on what you make. So it could be like how you change your hair. Let's say you're wearing braids one day, you're wearing a wig the next day, you might have your natural hair the other day. I guarantee you get approached by 3 different types of men or women. You know, like, or there'll be a perception about you based on those 3 different things, and kind of like the idea of like the righteous woman.
Yeah,
you know, can be really dangerous, because you can, and you allude to it actually a couple of times. It's like, I want a new wig, or a new weave, world peace, and flights. Which I was like, you can want all those things. It doesn't take away, like, why do we have to like
be one thing?
Yeah. As a woman who listens to hip hop and grime, how do you process some of the misogyny that you hear?
Can't lie, as I'm maturing and becoming that adult woman, can't lie, I'm struggling to listen to a lot of the stuff I used to love to listen to. Like, sometimes I listen to my like favorite rappers that I used to love, and I'd be like, yo, this is so rude. Like, why would he say this? And it's interesting, because at the time I remember like being 15 and just like rapping this stuff on my soul, and then now I'm like, yeah, that's actually low-key not cool. Like, why you gotta cook up bitches, and why you gotta sleep with her one time and then never call her back? Like, it's just
that is not cool.
It's just all internalizing. And so I think it's interesting now. It's not interesting. It is interesting to also see how your mind evolves with the music you've been listening to for a long time, and how life changes your like the context of how you experience people and experience their music and their messages, and how it changes. Which I guess everyone changes, like your opinions change, but yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, because but I think there's also like duality of being like, sometimes I will be in the club like, you know, she's a bitch.
Yeah, no, facts.
You know, but then other times it's like, it's not the right, no, she's not a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Stop it. You know?
Facts.
Like,
why would he say this?
But I thought it was really, do you know who I found it with actually? J. Cole.
That was my reference.
Really?
Yeah, that was who it was.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, it was him.
I was the biggest J. Cole fan.
Same.
And I downloaded every single song he ever put out. And then when I started listening to it, like I hadn't listened to it for a while, and then me and my little brother, like, we sort of had a long drive, went through the whole back catalogue. I was like, you're so egotistical. All you care about is not cheating on your girlfriend or cheating on your girlfriend. He's looking for validation. Like, and I couldn't see that in it. Like when I was younger, I was like, he just needs love. You know?
Yeah.
He needs the right woman, and he wouldn't cheat.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That was my reference. That's what I was thinking about. Even yesterday, I was like listening to something, and I was just like, oh, man, why are you saying that? But I was like, he's a young man, and I think that's...
Well, he was a young man, yeah.
And so it's like the context of like, that's a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 23-year-old man that's also learning fame and is getting coochie thrown at him from all that dimensions of the world. Yeah. So it's like, that's an experience, but I guess, yeah, he probably, maybe, I don't know. So I feel like some of his lyrics still have that kind of vibe.
Even more questionable, to be honest.
I'm sure he'd look back at it. No, I don't know what he does. I don't know. I can't speak for J. Cole.
As you change as a writer, you're growing, but you're kind of in that position where you're growing. You know, if you think back to some of your, like, are there any of your older lyrics that you're like, I probably wouldn't say that now? No, that's good. Say it with chest.
I think so. Still the same. Maybe like instead of saying 100 grand, I'd probably say like, I'd say I want 100 grand, and like probably say like I want 100 million.
Yeah, because like, relative to the pride of the bands, 100 grand now.
If I'd been saying that from the get go, maybe I'd have 100 million by now, and not.
No, not 100 grand. I mean, it's relative. That's what we're trying to say. If you wrote a purely hedonistic coochie throwing song, any next song on the album, pure coochie, what do you think the internet would say?
I don't know. It would probably feel like a Doja Cat thing, like you know, like, no, I need to see what happens after this, because this can't be, because even me, I'd be confused. Like, what am I doing?
So it just
it just wouldn't happen. It just oh wow. For the plot though, it'd be really interesting.
I'm kind of interested to see him just as a spoof, social experiment. Yeah, it could be like the a little teaser for the album, and the album's completely not that. Would you want to?
No.
Fair enough.
No, just because I think there's enough of it already out there, and so if I did, it would just be part of a whole different message. But I don't. Yeah, that's not my bag.
There you go. You got to know what the bag is. Yeah. I like to think about a playlist that would go alongside, this song. So it could be like other freestyles that you would like to put in it. But if you had a playlist, like what sort of songs would sit on either side of it?
No, I'd probably put a Nux tune.
Yeah.
Ahead of that. I feel like it sits in the same world.
I like Nux. I think as a good example of an artist that, again, like yourself, you can, you have the duality, like, because I think there's sometimes you have the idea of a conscious rapper limits you to what you can say, but you can be conscious, you can also be road, you can also be, braggadocious, like you can be all these different things. And I think he speaks it's about experience, right?
Yeah.
Is that what speaks to you about him?
Yeah, and I think he's an amazing storyteller in his lyrics. I feel like people don't really tell stories anymore. They just say phrases and like there's no artistry in it. But I feel like what's sick about him is that he actually tells a story. Like it's just not just like you get into the world of what he's saying. And I think that's an underrated thingy. I don't know an underrated
skill.
Yeah, underrated skill. And then who would I put under? Oh, maybe A2. Is that his name? A2.
A2, yeah.
Yeah. Similar world.
World. And would you say underrated? Or should I use that word?
I don't like calling people underrated because I feel like it's not a nice it's just not nice, I don't think.
I mean, not as appreciated as he should be in some ways.
Just on his journey. And I think time will just tell all for everyone, I think. I feel like everything is just a part of your journey.
Do you feel like now you're in this position where you can give yourself the time? Like I think I was literally having this conversation with your manager downstairs, and I was talking about sometimes we put the shelf life on music, on our journey in music, when it can be so long, on this idea of like, who knows what A2 is going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, not for real.
We don't know. So it's like this idea of like, do you give yourself the grace to take time?
I think I'm starting to now. I feel like this year that has been my goal, to give myself time. I feel like time is so invaluable, and I didn't really understand that until recently, and so I'm trying to like understand time and really enjoy time, because that's like one thing you just can never get back, and it's so valuable, and I don't think we understand how valuable it is. And so I just feel like giving time is my main concern.
What was the catalyst for that? Was there anything that made you feel that?
I went to Ghana. I spent like a month in Ghana, and it's just very slow paced.
Time is different.
Yeah. And I think it's like the rush on like the western side of the world is so unhealthy, and you don't realize it until you take yourself out of it. And then I was just like, what am I rushing for? Like I don't complete stuff because I'm trying to complete the next thing, and I just don't think that's healthy. So that moment of just like waiting and being okay to wait, and I didn't die waiting, the world didn't end, I ate, like all these things happened, and I waited and it was fine. And so I just found like a beauty in waiting, and really appreciating time, like in a way that I haven't in a very long time, especially in this industry, where everything's so like I even deeped. Oh my gosh, I've been doing this for like, I quit my job in 2019. That was 5 years ago. Yeah, so it's just like 5 years is 7 to 11. Like that's your whole secondary school career, and it doesn't feel like it. And I'm just like, where's time going? And so I feel like my main concern is to just enjoy time.
Yeah, I feel the exact same thing. I was away for 3 weeks in Colombia, and
Jeez.
It was like 21 days, and we were busy, we were doing stuff, but like nothing changed here.
Yeah,
I didn't. Then I caught up on the emails that needed my response. But nothing was like do or die in this moment.
Yeah, it
was okay. And then even coming back, I was like, it made me think like, I don't know, who knows, I might be in summer and be like, but like in this moment, I was like, I don't want to kill myself.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm going to close the laptop at this time because...
And it's okay.
It's okay. Like 12 hours is not going to change much. Like it doesn't matter if I don't send this email today. What does my time require for me today? And actually, how do I want to spend my time in nice ways? I'm going to jump to this section of the song. I said, pray for increase and peace of mindset. One of my favourite lines. I want new weave, world peace and flights. That is it. That is it. That would be like if, someone's like a beauty pageant. And and they're like, what do you, okay, Miss Garner, what do you want from the world? I want new weave, world peace and flights. And everyone's like, yay, me too.
That's funny.
I might admit it's taken time, so I took a break from drinking wine. Champagne, I like. Conservative, far right. Fuck government, I'm tired. Guy Fawkes with it all. I like that you, I thought that was really great wordplay.
Thanks.
And the end bit when you were just like the Guy Fawkes bit, I was like, because you don't say it.
Yeah.
but you
put a lighter effect.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I just thought it was really smart and a little bit like tongue in cheek. As a rapper, do you feel compelled to speak about world issues?
Not as a rapper, just as a human.
As a human.
Yeah, because they've been making me hate it here. And I think I've just always never understood how things can be. I feel like you have to intentionally want things to be bad for them to be bad. And I don't understand in my head why you would want things to be bad. And so it's just a passion that I just hate. I hate wrongdoing for no reason. And I feel like we're in the time in the world where there's just like so much wrongdoing and it's intentional. And I don't understand why. So that means you're just being evil for no reason.
Yeah.
And so I think, I just think it's so easy to relax into it. And I feel like I see that as well, that everyone's okay in their stress. And it's like, well, I guess we're stuck this way. And for me, I feel like, no, like, let's fight. And so I'm not compelled as a rapper, I'm just compelled as a human. But I guess rapping's my...
your vehicle to do it. And do you feel like with words and kind of with conversation, do you feel like, I mean, I'm constantly thinking about this all the time, like what, for you in your life, what are like the tangible ways that you can make a difference to what you see as wrong, like in wrongdoing?
I think there's two. I feel like for artists, sometimes we scapegoat ourselves because I said it in the lyrics, so therefore I've done my part. And it's so easy just to put something in a lyric and then just do that. And then be like, well, I did my part. I put it in a song. So, but I don't think that's enough. I think you have to actually go out there and be impactful. Like you actually have to be about what you're speaking. And so like, and there's a lyric I wrote recently where it was just like, I'm an actor, not an activist. And it's just like, it's so easy, I think, to play those both things, to be like, I'm an activist, but doing the bare minimum. But because you're in a space where if I just say this, I've done my point, which is why everyone seems to go to celebrities or whatever when something happens, or if something's happening, you just expect them to fling up a tweet and do the bare minimum. But that doesn't mean anything because they probably, if they don't care about it, but they're just doing it for the context of like why it should be done, then what's the point?
Yeah.
And I think that's why the world is the way it is right now, because people are performing the social
act.
issue, rather than the activism.
So. And there's so many ways and layers to do activism. Like, you know, it could be one small thing in your area that is a level of activism to help people in your area. It could be, you know, on the next level up, which could be on the nationwide. It could be then on the worldwide. You know, like there's different ways. But like I've definitely been thinking about this a lot in terms of like social media, and like you see so much like people posting, and I think awareness is important, especially if you know your audience and maybe your audience aren't aware of these issues. But if you're in this echo chamber and you share one thing, I want to know, you tell me this thing, and then what? What do we do with this information? It's like what now? What can we do? How can we help? But you've just given me the and that's it. So yeah, it's definitely something in my mind. And on that sort of note, then, do you think that society allows for duality in politics? Like, does it allow, you know, like, is that celebrity that maybe is doing stuff but does have the Prada bag, like, are they taking us seriously? Or
I think they are. I think Stormzy is like a nice representation of that, because he knows he's that guy, and then even being that guy, there's certain things he doesn't stand for, or he'll like act on it or make these decisions, because it's like it's all about having integrity, I think. And it's just I think just again as humans, we're all, sometimes you want world peace, sometimes you want new hair. Like it's okay, you can want all these things. And
he's a great example actually of the act of doing. Like, you know, he puts it in his songs, but then he actually does as well on so many different, you know, levels. Like, and actually somebody that has changed culture and changed the way we think about publishing to, you know, who gets to go to what school. Like, I think people should be shooketh of him, because he knows he has the power, and he knows he has the platform to actually create real change, and he does.
And it's sick.
Yeah. Okay, big up Stormzy for president. Did you take a break from drinking wine? Because you said it in the WOMAD show. You were like, there was a time in lockdown where you and your friends were like riding out on bikes, drinking some wine, and then You had to take a break. Tell me about that break.
Yeah, no, I feel like alcohol is just, it's a vibe, but sometimes it can be too much of a vibe, especially like it's like, again, learning how to be in this industry. Like, you just get gifted bare alcohol, and then the next thing you know, you just have a really nice drinks cabinet, and you're just like, wow, look at all this stuff. And I think a good time is a good time, but learning how to not have a good time. And so I think you just got to sometimes separate the thing. But it's just, I think it's a learning process of just like everything in life. Like sometimes you just go full throttle at something, and then you're just actually, I don't like this. And then you take a break from drinking wine.
Yeah, and then get straight back to it.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. But it's this is another thing that's come up a lot in these conversations is about moderation.
Facts.
And substances and how we use them. And it's like something that I know, like, I drink too much wine. And I was saying to my partner, like, why can't I just, like, we had some wine last night, like a little glass, just for dinner. Wine today, little glass, just dinner. Why can't I be that person? Why do I think that I should be the person that doesn't drink Monday to Wednesday, but then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's lit, and a Sunday can be a write-off for me. But like,
I hear it.
It's like a reward system that I worked. I think I should have some wine, but why couldn't it just be the one at night? That is nice. I really enjoyed that wine because it was just the one.
I feel like it's two different intentions, isn't it? Like, one is just the one with the meal, and one is like, sometimes maybe we're not prepared to have a good time, and alcohol makes us have a good time. And so it's just like
the crutch.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool. If I'm gonna party tonight, I'm gonna make sure I have a good time.
Yeah, it's like, it's Sunday, it's my one day
we're
off.
going all out.
I'm drinking wine. So, on that note, I meant to do this at the beginning of the interview, but we do like to gift our guests with a wine that I feel matches the song. I didn't go champagne because the budget just,
I'm screaming.
cost of living just kind of didn't get me there. And I also was like, I don't know, I didn't want to go get you a bottle of, like, what is it, that Canty, like, no, or Lambrini. I didn't want to take it there.
I'm an easy girl.
However, I thought a Riesling. Now, it's a white wine, it's a dry white wine. And it just made me think, like, you know what? I was at a wine tasting thing the other day, and they were like, yeah, I love wine, clearly. And they were like, oh, yeah, it's definitely a Riesling. And I was like, what the fuck's a Riesling? And then I learned that it's about where it's from. So I was like, you can use it. So when you go into those rooms, you'll be like, I have a Riesling, darling.
I'm going to start doing that. Thank you so much. It's a really nice bottle as well.
It's a nice, cute bottle, yeah.
A Riesling.
Yeah, and you can save it for Austria. Like a nice moment.
Limited
edition, top shelf, supermarket.
Aromas of April. Oh, now I'm here for this.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our chat, and it's been really insightful. It's been really nice to hear you talk, because I see you on stage and I hear your music, but it's nice to hear you, and I've seen like the press release and I get like the snippets, but it's nice to hear you, ENNY. You said in a previous interview about the We Go Again EP, which is what Champagne Problems is taken from, that you already feel like you're distant from the songs, like you're not that person anymore, and that it would only really come into more effect is when you perform them live. So how do you feel about Champagne Problems today?
How I feel about Champagne Problems? I don't really feel it anymore. I don't really feel the Champagne Problems, because they don't feel as relatable, because I'm just not in that headspace, I guess, anymore, of like, it's not new. It's like, I feel like Champagne Problems is like a new car smell of me, like in this world as an artist, and I just feel like I'm settled into the car a bit, so it's like I'm a bit sure. I've got like 2 feet planted, so I'm a bit chill.
So phase 3 of ENNY the artist, what are you writing about?
Right now? No bloody idea.
You're taking a moment?
Yeah, I think I feel like I'm learning a lot. And I'm enjoying, I feel like that's what has been sick with like a lot of the music, or like even with the last projects, it wasn't intentional. And life aligned in a way that everything just kind of worked, like just made this project. And so I feel like I'm trusting the process and just
living.
Yeah. And just seeing what happens.
And outside of music, when you think about the ways in which you like to enjoy your time, what have you got in your diary that you're like, I'm excited to do this? It could be something just like time with friends, going on another holiday, like what?
Well, like holidays, I'm about to get in my holiday bag, but even just like spending time with like family, like I'm really relishing moments with like my mum, and just like small things of just like like these are the most important relationships that we have, and these relationships unfortunately don't last forever. So it's just about enjoying the people that we love while we have time with them. And I think it's the whole time thing. Like I just want to take time with stuff.
Well, I think that's a beautiful way to end. And we always ask for one line to leave people with. So from Champagne Problems, if you could gift our audience a line, what would it be?
So many who, what, whys, and whens.
So many who, what, whys, and whens.
So many who, what, whys, and whens.
Why?
When? How? Who? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ENNY.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Chat.